Time it was recording DVDs and VCRs before they were even invented. I have DVDs and VCRs of me as a flower girl from all the way from the 1800s. How did they doctor that? How did they put that in the darkness? The 60s. They have videos, they have VCR, they have tapes. And all of them got killed. You don't know how old I am, do you? And you'd like to know. Well, we're not talking about an age. Age is what? Is it? Is age really counted that way? Do you count the days? What if you skip a day? What if I sleep through that day? What if the sun doesn't rise that day high enough for me to recognize that it's a day? And how do people account for that in certain areas? What if it rains? What if it's overcast? What if you don't go to the bathroom on that day? Is that a day if you don't go to the bathroom? If you don't go to the bathroom on a day, are you going to remember that day? What if you don't talk to your child on that day? Your child doesn't talk to you. What if you're sick? What if you're disabled? What if you can't get up? What if you cry on that day? How do we measure that? You and somebody that wins a prize on that day, I forbid you to have some humanity and privacy, of course. And of course, now we know with drones and satellites, nobody has the right to say something other than what exactly happened. Nobody has the right to say that. To preserve the purity, to preserve the thoughts, to preserve the expectations, to preserve the appearances, to preserve the rights, and to preserve the position and deposition, to preserve the desperation, to preserve their destination, to preserve the character, to preserve their mistakes, and to preserve their say-sos. Well, somebody did see you, didn't they? Didn't they see you? But you were that person that saw me. Do they love me? Do they even care about me? And now we go into that. So maybe people do care about each other and love each other. But we don't know. Let us find out. But we're all born free. And in writing, we're all black and white, redlined, questioned in green, and highlighted in yellow. But if it's in plain writing, somebody wrote it. And if it's in plain speech, somebody said it. And if it's a question, we have a session. And if it's highlighted, we have to go above and beyond. So let us not do that for absolutely everything. Let's know the norms and the questions that apply to all. You're going to have certain whites, black, Indian, whatever, I don't even care. Listen to me. Listen to my voice. Listen to me. Even my own family doesn't hear me. And they're rich. They're so rich. We were being served by Mrs. Vice President's descendants, wearing turbans and all. But my ex-husband, he felt so bad about that. There's of course my family was disrespecting. We don't have time for that. So let's spread the knowledge out quick. In about 5 to 10 years, we don't want to have. You can't be racist towards Asians. You have hate crimes towards Asians. You can't have hate crimes towards Asian. In about 8 years, you can't have hate crimes towards black people, Asian people, white people. We don't want to hear that. Of course, you can't have hate crimes towards black people because they're going to break it all down and turn it into ruins. They're going to do this. And we love this country. This is our country. We're multicultural. And we love all. And we love God, of course. It's the only reason we're all here. In God we trust, of course. And we have the eagle's eye. We can see through that shit. That's why we can see when a black person is being racist towards you and you're a Mexican or white person. Even the Mexicans are learning it. And they're bringing the groups. I won't say stop the Mexicans, but I'm going to say educate them in an equitable manner. And our current president, Mr. Joe Biden's first lady, Jill Biden, is an educator. The highest other educator is a black lady, of course, in the world that is currently operating over billions of people. We're currently operating over 500 million people. And so we think about the rest of the billions. And she suffices. She can do it. Those are all my teachers. She suffices and she can do a very good job. She can do a very good job. And she doesn't need a black person like Mrs. Kamala Harris to advise her on how to deal with black and education. She can do it. In education, that's the first lady. And she must do it. And if she doesn't, she must do it. If she doesn't, there's going to be a soursop on her. On her. That's a test on her. Out of integrity, ability, countenance, fairness, verity, varsity, economics, racial kindness, praise, generosity, Red Cross, Mother Teresa, Gandhi, and all. Can she rise above the fact that there's a black lady telling you how to go towards black people in education? There's a black lady, and she's higher than you. She's the vice president. Are you going to listen to her? Or are you going to have integrity and the eagle's eye on your wanderings? You wondered about education in these here states. In Baltimore, and all without discrimination. But go ahead and do it, or are you not? And what does that say? That brings us back to Mr. Lincoln's wife. And Mr. Lincoln telling his wife to shut up. We don't want to see that. You're a unit. So you stand together that's Miss Joe and Mrs. Joe Biden is a first lady. And you wonder how other first ladies took their stand. And it's not that you can I fight a black bitch and I'm a white bitch? Can I fight this black bitch? This black bitch is testing me. I'm more American, she's Jamaican, or whatever, than this black bitch. I care more about these ugly ass black nigga babies and her ass. I talk more about these ugly ass. Some of them they got snots, flesh running down their noses. You got to pick them up. I pick them up. She looked away from them. Mrs. Oprah with her school in Africa. Why would you do that? You know, so everybody has a resume, but it's not about me. So she has to transcend above that, of course. Not to say that the vice president doesn't care. Of course, she's looking at other things. But her job is her job, and so I stopped that. So I stopped there, and I am currently fucking my ex-boyfriend who got me locked up on the street, and I was attracted to him. So, ladies, make sure it's not just about how the person looks. And he's trying to prove himself now. He's trying to give me whatever and ever and cars and leisures in the midst of my pains. Of course, I could make it without him, and he knows that. He's trying to make his mark, and of course, I could get him surrendered, of course. But he's doing what he can because he knows that we are all people united, and if you listen, of course, united in our distinctions, and of course we love each other, and we want to have so much fun with each other, play games and teach the children and love our children and take care of them so beautiful. My child especially, of course, I say that all the time. I grew up with my family doing this to me. They did this to me, you know. They are humongous, goes through different states. Now you say the Union. Now they go with the line that they make. Like Carolinas, Virginia, and this and that. That's my family now, coming up all the way from, let's say, Brazil, Bolivia, Chile. I have to say Lima. I have to say them. Coming up and doing their thing. Let people do their thing, and that's what has always been evanescence. It's always been the essence of humanhood and of love. Of course, we love all people and we respect all people, regardless of shape, of size, of love, of kindness. And now it's time for us, my dearly beloved comrades, counterparts, man, I'm not above you. You consider me above you, but they consider me below them. And so Kerwin had figured that out. And that's what I was in the basics with all and my white counterparts. They were in military bases, and I was with them. With all of them being considered that way, Dutch, New Zealand, Australia, all of that being considered lower, in everything, being excluded, all of that being considered ugly. They can't walk on the same street. We don't want you on this street. Get out of here. You're ugly. You stink. Stinky. Stinky weenie. You're like a white person. You're doing this and that. But I'm not. Of course, I'm one of them. My father, of course, was an immigrant. Of course, a great immigrant that gave paper money, printed, and notes to all people. So we're going to say, just like the current president, what are you going to do with that paper notes? They give them, go ahead, hand out money to them. Some of them have it stolen. That's the worst thing. And that's why they're starting to arrest people from stealing. Because most of it, people steal it. Some of these people, they want to keep it. It's theft. And I'm in trouble, and I didn't recognize that. But theft. I had so much money. Oh my God, I had so much money. I was wearing I'm not even going to lie about this. I got in trouble for going to a dance and having my second cousin, extended cousin, a lady who's beautiful. He's married to a descendant of a chief. I've seen her marriage pictures on Facebook. Of course, in the traditional tribal world. I'm not in that. I'm in the modern house, and of course in the European dichotomy, you look at the first, the second, the third Reich, all the rights. They had to go through different rights as well. In modernizing, suffice to say, we're gonna wear blue jeans or whatever. I don't care. I don't care who fucking Bob Dylan is. I don't care who Elvis Presley is. But they were making a difference in their communities. Paul Robes, and So I Care, Miriam Makeba, Henry Belafonte, and Mr. Michael Jackson. They were making differences, and so they steal the money, people stealing it and coming to your house and getting all. Now you've got your piggy bank and all your money, and they steal it. Now you have to put it in a credit union or whatever. And my mother started that with the community. She was the chairperson for women in securing their stocks. For black people, you started the Itala, the Italian. Saying that you could put all the stuff, give this much, just about 12%, 22, whatever, and build the stock house, and then at the end of the month, it goes to this person. And that was when they didn't have much. But when they have a lot, somebody can say, I need something, and they have it in stock. So they can give you something. You get accounted for. So maybe in 30 days, maybe you are the next person to receive all the money that everybody's bringing in. Maybe at the end of the month, you are on the 29th. you're going to receive everything. Like February 29. 29, you're going to receive it. But you say on the 15th, the 18th. So I really need something. I went through this. So you give him a percentage of that. Or you give him all of it. But you might not be able to give him all of it. So now you have to count what percent you gave him on the 18th, the 14th, the 16th. And is it going to go to the next person on the 29th? Or is it going to go back to the other? Well, no, it's going to go to the next person. But you count the percentage of how much they took. You say, I'm going to forego getting 500 rand. 500, I was going to say Aaron Rand. 500 rands. I was going to say rands. Aaron Rand, if you know anything. If you're going to, they say I'm going to forgo that. At the end of the month, it's going to go to somebody else. Now it's going to be shortchanged. They're shorting. It's going to be shortchanged for the next person. Now the next person says, you owe me. So we're going to say, to clear our stock up, you owe that other person just about $30. So give that person $30 as soon as you can. So that in the next month, we can move on to the registered next person in our stock. They were playing this in stock market. This was my family. My mother did this. She would do this all the fucking time. I hated the shit. We go into the town. And we go into the town. I hated this. And I'd be eating fried fish and peanuts. And she was doing the stock markets and bonds. And I hated this shit so much. It's Italian. Italia, that's the fast, and they have FNB, the fast national banks. They have ABSA, they have NetBank, they have Bank of America, they have HSBC, and of course Wells Fargo, Tan from Wachovia, that was my bank, and what else? Chase, I already said Chase. Capital One just came around, of course, financing. They're doing all this stock markets. My mother was doing this. They had major premiums. My sisters, they hate me so much. They're living off of that. Premiums. My mother's properties, premiums, and all of that. My sister said, I hated the day that you were born. You can't say that in our culture. That's deceitful. That's deceitful. You can never do that. You can't hate anybody. You can't hate even if they do you wrong. I don't hate you. You dig a grave for yourself and you dig a grave for them too. And surely I can dig a grave for anybody. And surely they're not going to dig a grave for me. I'll take them out. Just because of my father, a miner, and an immigrant. You'll never be able to do anything to me. Ever. It will be me doing it to myself. But for the sake of my child, I'm going to be there. Not without rands, money, stocks, anything. I will be there. And I won't forgive. They have non-profits. I will never forgive. And that's a lesson. It's my fast lesson. That's my fast negative. That's my fast F. They put grades. You run away from the F's. That's a fail. That's a fallen hero, fallen whatever. You fell. I fell for his shit. I fell for it. Now he's standing up in the Superior Court of the District of Columbia, the highest court. You're desecrating our lives. Not just black lives, all lives. Black lives, of course. Black Lives Matter. But now, as a black person, you're desecrating it. You're my husband. And you're being negligent. You're neglecting everything that came before. You're neglecting it. Now we take a white person. Oh, they have just a little bit more sympathy. Nigga, we're going with him. Nigga, we're going with him. We're going with Ben Affleck, J-Lo. We're going with him. Nigga. Nigga, you much rather run. Or nigga, I never did you any harm. But you are saying, I went to your descendants' lands, all their lands in the Zulu nation, and I seen and people bathing in rivers, and I wanted to take pictures. I said, you're not going to take pictures of naked people in rivers. I said, that's weird. And some of them were children. You're not going to do that. Oh my God, they're naked and they're bathing in rivers. Oh my God, they have installed a stall outside to take a shit. Oh my God, they have chickens running around. And those are some strong chickens, tackies and this and that. The tackies run around right there in North Carolina. So you descended me. So you're acting out, not out of reason and everything else. You're acting out of the color of my skin, the content of my character, and my history, and my blackness. And you met the chiefs in the land. They came and they introduced themselves to you. They acknowledged you, put a crown on your head, out of animal tide and animal fat and all that. They don't do that for fun, nigga. It's not game. It's not game, nigga. You have Eric and Mr. former President Donald Trump's children doing and poaching, taxing them and all that. They don't do it for game. It's not game. It's inheritance. It's also health. It's also enzymes, immunizations. They don't get them all. Because they could. Absolutely. If you really wanted to shoot them all, you could. But you're flipping it. I'm the lowlife, and you're not. Out of Scientology. And you think about Mr. Mel Gibson. Out of Scientology, out of science. Saying, well, you didn't get picked. In genealogy, you didn't get picked. What is it? Natural association, whatever. So you're looking at motherfuckers like that. You can't look at motherfuckers like that. Some of them, like myself, of course, cherish that. I'm so happy that is even. I would take trips with my white classmates to these areas for them to learn. Those were trips at Showe, Zululand, all that. Take them there. Shaka's cruel. They were going there to learn about themselves. Their fathers, the forefathers, mothers, all of that. You took that as, well, this bitch is below me. No, I'm not below you. but I can blow you. And that's not your dick, because you don't like that anyway. This is, in fact, a threat. As soon as you hand my child over, I'm going to sit, recompense, and think about what I'm going to do. It is, in fact, a threat. It is, in fact, a threat to you and to your family. That's why you have a stay away order and a contempt charge on me. It is, in fact, a threat. You're scared. My father said they closed the whole restaurant at the lighthouse off the ports in the Cape of Africa, in the Horn, the lowest port that you could ever go, apart from Antarctica, where people live. They closed the whole restaurant, being served by Indians. You're Indian. You didn't recognize that I too, my father is an immigrant too. But out of respect, he said, we have COVID. And my father, he said, well, I'd like you to give me a bottle of wine. Can't you give me a bottle of wine? And I was pregnant at the time. Indian guy with a turban, having a black whacker, server. We don't want that. Serving you. We have affirmative action everywhere in the world. So wherever your country and all this and that, and you reign and are independent, those people work under you. They don't know the culture. They don't know the language. They don't know the accounting. They don't know the space. They don't know the time. They don't know the street names. They don't know none of that. We have affirmative action. They come fast. That black boy comes before you. And you're Indian. And my husband melted. We had Alaskan salmon. I had polenta. They had all types of stupid-ass European foods. But he melted away and he lost me. And after that, he never became the same person again. He went golfing with my father. And I said, and he beat him in golf. He's like, fuck. That's a black ass nigga beating me in golf. And I'm a light-skinned, green-eyed nigga from America with a nigga beating me all the way in Africa in golf. Took you to a golf resort. And that's not to fancy myself. But his expectations. Around my family, boss was in everything. They gave him everything. And just like Kamal, it wasn't enough. Because I want somebody else. That's fine. My mother said, it's enough. That's enough. That's enough. He wants what he wants. He's a whore. And you love him. And I love him, man. I made a beautiful baby with him. My prize, my gold, my only prize. But I won't die. I will live. And before they died, oh, so much pain. Oh, God, so much pain. We had thousands of people in my house praying, kneeling, baptizing people, the children, teaching us. Oh, God, how do you tell a child that a family, you're black, all they're gone. They're gone. They looked at the children. They looked at us. We went crying. We said as children, everybody else is crying. We don't understand. Let's get some Vicks Vapor Up and put the menthol in our eyes so we can cry too. Because we don't understand. It's me and my brothers. One of them is an engineer, of course. And both of them are engineers. I'm an engineer because I taught them. I'm younger than them. I would get them polish their shoes and get them ready for the private schools. Yes, they kicked them out of the private schools. My brother was too fast in football, rugby, and cricket. Beat all of them. It's not fair. They do it all over the world. And you're going to pay off soccer coaches and this and that. And people sit there expecting you to play fair. But look at how fat his mother is. She's not thinking about me. Look at my child. My child is disabled. Now my family got a disabled community, started helping the disabled. But still, look at how fat they are. Now they're not thinking about, well, my child has autism. And now we're going to start communities helping children with autism. Now my child has this sickness and this and that. Well, he's perfect. He's fine. She's going to make it. My whole family forsaking me. Because they know I'm going to make it. Of course I'm going to make it. Of course I'm going to make it. They know that. My brother is a motherfucking great what? He's a swimmer in the ocean, in the Cape. A lifeguard. And he has dreadlocks. And he's a shark. Of course. Of course. I was swimming with little brown boys, kicking as a kid, kicking.
That's how you talk to them.
But they're taking them down little by little. And I see it happening, hurting me. And the people in the consulates are lower in prestige and status than me. They lower. I run them. And that's not fair. And that's the same way with the presidents. Former president, all the presidents have always been higher than you. Only in Indonesia. All the presidents, they've always been higher than you. They say aristocrats. And that's the blood.
I see.
And that's the water. That's the allowance. That's the quota. And that's the arms, the quota of arms. I'm not calling myself to be anything. But at least you thou think that this is going to affect me.
Right.
Or my child. And anyway, nigga, my child is going to own Disney World lest you assassinate me. And that would be by a nigga. It wouldn't be by a white person. It would be by a nigga.
Black nigga.
That would be by a nigga. I don't care what country they're from. And the female president of Liberia. Nkosi Dlamini Zuma. That's my great and grandmother's last names. Queens in Africa. And secretary of the African Union. And that's Mr. Gaddafi. That's Miss Hillary Clinton. After that, coming to my school. Why are you coming to my school? Bryn Mawr. And then you select Indians. And then you selected Mrs. Kamala Harris. Selected, I wasn't bucking up to you. I fooled you. I was a servant. They told me to serve. That's what my family told me. Don't show yourself out like that. Serve.
Let's choose them.
Serve the people. And she got food. I was serving drinks. And Mrs. Hillary Clinton was at, why would you come to Bryn Mawr? The Consul General of my country was there. Who's now in Jordan? Who wants me to go there? And giving me travel. I can travel anywhere with an email. I travel anywhere by email. I don't need a passport. Just by email. New York, Consul General, they're all talking about it. It's not fair. And y'all did this to me on my first day of school. Miss Garrett, a chairman lady.
Smoke this, calm down. Here you go. This one.
Y'all did this to me. And y'all also did it to my mother.
Come on now.
And made my mother, even though in the community, in the black community, she was a chairperson. In the white community, she was a housekeeper. But she was serving. She wasn't housekeeping, niggas. She saw all y'all shit, nigga.
Let's smoke that.
She wasn't a cleaner. She was housekeeping. You fucked up. You fucked up. And that's what we do, nigga. She wasn't no fucking maid, bitch. She wasn't no fucking maid. She wasn't no fucking maid. She was the firstborn. Her name is Sharif. It wasn't Sharon, nigga. Sharif.
All right, smoke that.
Sharon.
So you lose it.
Pour my leg. Elegant. Place some made niggas out of England. You dumbass motherfuckers. Don't try that shit. Get over it. And that's a test on you. Now behold the Lamb. Now behold the Lamb. Now behold the Lamb, niggas. This little lamb, huh? Nigga. Now behold the Lamb.
Did you lose it?
Ain't nobody want no smoke, nigga.
You got some smoke.
Fasten that shit.
All right.
And they don't want me to say shit. Fuck my family. We ain't going down like this. I'm not going down like this. Tighten it up. Turn the light on.
This light right here.
And I ain't turn the light on.
It's enough.
No, turn the light on because I want it tight.
Okay.
I'm never going down, niggas.
That
And
tight.
that's the ganja.
I'm gonna get a razor to show you.
Because I'm all that shit. Fuck y'all. They got it together. And that's Mr. Clinton. Niggas, yo, fucked up. All the snitches. All the racists. All the motherfuckers that still want to do slave shit. All the motherfuckers that don't want to finish school. All the motherfuckers that want to hate. All the motherfuckers that can't speak. Motherfuckers.
How tight you want?
And all the motherfuckers that want to be fucking goofy on some real
Is
shit.
that tight enough?
No, make it tight. Because you don't see that it's certain people involved. In this case,
It's gonna make a hole for you.
Nigga, you ain't putting a razor on my leg.
I ain't putting it on you. They put it right here and make a hole.
Nigga, you ain't making a hole with the razor. Give me that shit.
Okay, I'll put the razor.
Crazy
up.
ass nigga. But your dick might be good. I'm ass nigga, I ain't gotta know you. Fuck is wrong with you?
Tell me how tight you want.
I don't care, motherfuckers think I'm able. Oh, you don't know what hate is, nigga? And they fucking my family up. My family is not me. My family's obedient. My family's peaceful. I'm not. They believe in all that peace shit. I don't. You fuck me up, I'm coming. But I might not. I might come. But I might not, nigga. So you worry about that. And I have no more Black Deaths. At least I have another Black Death, niggas. I'm getting a gun. And I'm gonna buy a ticket for somebody to come and shoot one of y'all. I ain't having no more Black Deaths. And that's what I said. Wait, I kind of take that back, though. I do take that back. It might not be none of my business. I might not know the circumstances. But stop fucking with my family. I'm greater and beyond it. They try to make me greater and beyond it than that. That was their decision. I understand my teeth is fucked up, my hair, my face, my nose, all this and that. But that's the point. It's not about how people look. It's about the character. Now you gotta look further into my character because I look a certain way. Look how ugly Dre looks. He looks uglier than me. And I still fuck him.
You say I'm ugly? Bitch, you ugly.
I take that back. He got me in jail. This man, he got me in jail.
Can't stop saying that.
That was my first time in jail. I take that back. I'm not gonna fuck nobody up. I'm not.
There you go. You want the other one done?
And is it tight?
It's tight as shit.
I'm not. I believe in life, prosperity, and the pursuit of happiness. But let's just find peace. Stop doing this shit. We're tired. There's no reason. You know, we have logical reasoning. I speak to white people. I'm talking to white people. Only. I'm only talking to white people.
White people.
I'm not talking to niggas. They don't listen to me. I'm too ugly for them to listen to me, niggas. Best thing I got is my legs.
Why you guys so ugly?
And the best thing I got is wearing jeans. And see how good I look in jeans.
Okay, go to
Is that the only thing? I'm not talking niggas. We all know niggas, motherfucker. We all know niggas.
It's that tight.
I'm talking to white people because they don't know. And they keep doing the foolery shit that's irking me. And I was with this ugly ass nigga with my beautiful ass baby and living good. And these motherfuckers want to call the police on us. You know, I'm fuckers up. Motherfuckers. I didn't know that y'all would do that. And Mexicans, white people, Irish, Italian, all the different distinctions of whiteness. Okay? I'm talking to people of color. I'm not talking to black Americans. Turn the light on. Originally it was black Americans. We black. Now you have Native Americans, and Mexican Americans, and Asian Americans. Originally, believe it or not, from when I was a child, that's what we used to be called.
Okay.
And then it became the mix. They got a brown paperback or whatever. You know, they might look more white than black. So then you call them, and then they call them colored. But it was originally black American. Okay? So, we're all black American. Colored, that's a race in many countries. As a very respected race. But it's just like the Native Americans, they're native. They're rice.
What race is that?
And colored people and NAACP, they're recognized, you know. And so then it became, you don't want to be, you know, counted into that because then there's some of them that have more percentage of this and that. You know, and so what are you going to call them? So then you call them African Americans because they have a little bit of Africanness, but they're all American. And so, that's where we moved. That's the projection. That's the history of that. Right. But we're not all African Americans. I am. Some of them are Black Americans. He's Black American. Should I say maybe? I don't know. You know, and Mr. Former President Barack Obama, he's African American. His father's from Africa. His mother passed away. And Miss Kamala Harris is African American. All right. And we have Mr. Clarence Thomas. He's Black American. All right. And it's not fair. They worked on these things. Mr. Elijah Cummings, African American. What's his name? Carson, African American. You know, Miss Oprah, Black American. Okay, and Miss Whoopi Goldberg is Black American. You know, you watch some of the movies, Black American. Okay, Nia Long, Black American. Royce Morris, that's Black American. The Winans, Black American. Okay, Donnie McClagan, he cut the line. He cut the line. I'm about to play a song now with some Africans. He cut the line. He's both. He traversed himself to African Americanism. Or just think about Marcus Garvey. Think about Mr. Booker T. Washington. Think about Mr. W.E.B. Du Bois. They were assassinated. Mr. Booker T. Washington was Black American. Mr. W.E.B. Du Bois was African American. Marcus Garvey, African American. Frederick Douglass, African American. Miss Maxine Waters is African American. African. Now we're looking at how in perspective, retrospectively, response and all of that. And they being looked at, you're not just thinking about yourself, how you consider your identity, but how others respond to you, other Black people, Asians, Africans, Europeans. You're Black American, and then you're African American. So there's a difference. Or some of them Jamaicans, they're Black Americans. And then you have in the census a Black or this and that.
What's the difference?
It's a very big difference.
What is it?
Well, you go ahead, ask the eugenics professors, go to school. You're going to learn that. But so you're going to have to pay me. My professor was African American, but was being treated like a Black American. It was quite right. It's quite crazy. And my political science, international law, Professor at Bryn Mawr, Mr. Ellen, Jamaican. He's African American. And Mrs. Kamala Harris's father is African American. And Mrs. Kamala Harris's mother was Indian American, Black American, Indian American. She's African American. And her husband is Jewish American.
She got a Jewish husband.
And then we look at who else. And Miss a wonderful, lovely lady that did so much work just like the great leaders did in the 60s in entertainment. Paul Robeson, who was Black American. And of course, Mrs. Mary McGabber being African American. Of course, Henry Belafonte being African American. Mr. Henry Belafonte being African American. Of course, they're from Louisiana, and they're, but to be honest, being African American, and her husband also being African American.
What's the difference?
All right. And then we look at Mr. Kanye West. He's Black American. And so there they go, higher and higher, and they realize these things.
What's the Black American?
And then who else? Mr. Barack the former president, Mr. Barack Obama, being Black American, and his wife, former First Lady, the lovely Miss Michelle Obama, being Black American, but he's African American, and his wife is Black American.
Who's African American?
Oh, I said we're gonna stop there. Well, God bless me. Mr. Joe Biden, can you please save me? If not, I'm going to talk to Mr. Former President George Bush. And I know you probably don't like him. Who likes him? Well, he's a very good guy. And his wife is very nice. And Mr. Clinton, hey, please help me. I'm so sad. I'm an ambassador of African American, Pan-African Americanism, and you don't have, just like casting your votes out of the country, absentee votes. We've been everywhere. Otherwise, it is not fair for you to do this to us as Black people. Focus of course on the Mr. Clinton said focus on the Muslims, but I don't think so. Focus on the Europeans with the Brexits. And Mr. David Cameron, I met Mr. Tony Blair. Can't say that. Wonderful. But tell them to start letting niggas print their own money. What's up?